Hello, my lovelies. My name is Lovely Lucky K, and welcome to Would You Rather. So, I had a lot of fun doing the last one, and I decided, well, why not do another one? And we are going to get right back into it. So, the first question that I have to answer is would you rather be a student the rest of your life or a teacher the rest of your life? Now, that's kind of a dilemma because you could be a teacher of anything. So, if you're a teacher of something that you enjoy, then you're not only reinforcing what you love doing every day, but you're also potentially, if you're good at it, which you should be if you're being forced to do it for the rest of your life and honing that skill, able to pass on that to other people. Now, if you're a student the rest of your life, you have to learn over and over and over, but you get to learn about a plethora of topics. So I see this more so as student of a quantity versus quality kind of thing. If you're a student, you get to learn a vast number of things, but if you're a teacher, you're focusing on teaching just one thing really, really well. And I would rather be a teacher simply because I could pick the things that I really like and be a teacher of that. I would hope that I would be a good teacher. I'm going to go with teacher because I would rather be considered the expert on a skill that I'm doing and reaffirm those said few skills rather than be forced to learn a quantity of items the rest of my life. Oh, it's pretty even split, but a little more people agree with me, so that's pretty good. If your parents had to give you one punishment, would you rather live without your phone or live without your computer, iPod, and clean clothes? Definitely phone. Because that's way more stuff than this. I mean, if you're super addicted to your phone, I guess. Would you rather fall 2 stories onto concrete or fall 2 stories into freezing water? Either break your bones or risk freezing to death. Well, they don't tell you if the freezing water is a river. The freezing water, I could choose to be a freezing water of a deep swimming pool, for example, and then I could just paddle my way to the edge, get out, be wrapped up, and not have to worry about hypothermia. Whereas this one, no matter how close to an ambulance you are, your bones are going to be broken. This one, you're going to have bruising and stuff from impacting with the water, but if it's a pool or a small enclosed environment, you could do that. And people agree. Would you rather be the best singer in the world, but ugly?
I'm ugly and I'm proud! I am ugly and I'm proud! I'm ugly and I'm proud!
Is that what he calls it?
Or be the worst singer in the world, but beautiful?
Tell me I'm pretty! Tell me I'm pretty! Tell me I'm pretty! You're pretty? Say it again!
Huh, so this is more about vanity than in talent. Well, singing is wonderful, but you could be the best singer in the world, and unless you get that record deal, you're not going to go anywhere with it. And I mean, you have those people that break out, but there are tons of other people who have amazing, beautiful, angelic singing voices, and they never get that opportunity to break out. And then you're stuck being ugly for the rest of your life. But if you're the worst singer, who says you have to do that as a career? And then you now have beauty, so you could go on and do modeling, or if you don't want to do something talent-based, you could do any number of things, and you're also beautiful, so you could still have a terrible singing voice, but then become an engineer, or become a surgeon, or become a teacher, or whatever you want to do. I would definitely do this one, and people seem to agree. Would you rather kill someone you hate and get caught, or kill someone you love and never get caught? This is an interesting one. There's only one person in my life that I would consider close enough to the feeling of hate, and I would love to see that person get hurt. However, kill someone you love and never get caught. See, you still have to... Why would you want to kill a loved beloved person in your life, that's just stupid. Why would you ever choose that option? Just to say that you experienced killing somebody, but if you're doing it and you don't care about the person's life, you really don't love them. Obviously this one. Yeah, that's kind of a stupid question if you really break it down. Would you rather live forever or never live? Interesting. So it's really one versus the extreme of the other. Live for eternity or never be born at all. See, if you never lived at all, you wouldn't have your life, your experiences, everybody you ever met, all of that would just be thrown out the window. And I would never want to do that, ever. I am happy to live the life that I live, and am happy that I was born. I know some people think that they wish they had never been born at all, or that they don't want to be alive anymore, and that's really just a place of hurt and depression and sorrow talking. I think that everybody has that spark in them that makes them want to keep going and striving towards happiness. Now, the only other alternative to that is living forever. If you live forever, you get to experience lots of things. I would assume that you would never age. Perhaps the moment you decide to live forever, if you were given this ultimatum, is the age you stay at for the rest of your life, or maybe you get to choose the age you look. But everybody you ever love doesn't have that same potential. They're all going to die. You're the only one who gets to live forever. So you are essentially committing to the destruction of the universe. Because even though you live forever, I'm assuming you can die if the entire universe dies. So you're going until the entire everything decides to putter out. Which could be trillions and trillions of years from now. And who knows where humans are going to be from them. But still, between these two options, living forever is much better than never having lived at all. And a lot of people agree. Would you rather only have access to YouTube on the internet or only have access to games on the internet? Now, I am a huge proponent of YouTube. YouTube has tons and tons and tons of people playing games that are fun to watch, and I would be okay with that. In either of these scenarios, you still can't surf the web because the only thing you can use the internet for is YouTube, which is dumb, so you can't use it for schoolwork, you can't use it to just browse web pages, you can't use it for shopping, you can't use it for email or anything else like normal people do. But if I had to pick between them, I would definitely do YouTube because it's been a part of my life forever. I've been watching YouTube well before I started YouTube, and I just started my channel, so not being able to get to YouTube would be a huge issue for me. And even if I couldn't play games anymore, I could still switch to being a console gamer versus a PC gamer or something. I don't know. It would be easy to only have YouTube versus games, for me. Would you rather dance like Michael Jackson or sing like Freddie Mercury? If you already have one of these skills, you would be revoking that skill by choosing the other. See, I'm more into dancing than singing, so I would dance. And would you rather have a monster truck or horses drawing chariots? Now, I've seen monster trucks, and they are super duper duper cool. I love watching monster truck races and fights and all of that kind of thing. But a horse-drawn chariot like a fucking gladiator would be badass. Just ride up down the street with your horse-drawn chariot with a sword drawn high, just waving to people. Hey! Oh my god. I could use the horse-drawn chariot in so many more situations than I could a monster truck. Would you rather eat only human remains for the rest of your life or starve to death? So, would you rather be a cannibal or die? You'd have to cut them up and cook them yourself each time. So it's saying, would you be willing to eat other people if it meant you got to continue living or die. But does that mean that if you only got to eat human remains the rest of your life, that you're not in a survival situation? So just right now, suddenly if I eat anything other than people, I die. That's just how it is. If I could only eat humans the rest of my life, then I'd have to find human remains, so I'd have to start working at, like, a morgue or something. And even then, that's risky. There's just no easy way to get humans to you that are already dead for you to then cook up and eat. And even then, if you do those tactics, like work at a morgue and then steal the body parts, they've already gone through rigor mortis and are really probably stringy and tough and not good to eat anyway. So the nutritional value is already going to be debunked. So you're going to die from eating the human remains anyway because they're not good for you. Unless you're in a survival situation, this just isn't feasible. Even if you wanted to choose this to try and live, it's just, you're going to die anyway. Because you can't get enough people into your house without killing them, and even then, you can only kill so many people before you get caught, because everybody slips up at some point. To get, the fresh meat, you can't do that for the rest of your life and kill thousands of people unseen and not being caught and getting suspicion on you. And if you were sneaky about it and got people who are already dead, they're not going to be nutritional. So you're going to die anyway, and then you just end up maybe killing people trying to survive anyway. It's a fruitless venture. I'd rather just starve to death so I don't have to try and go through all of this, because this is going to end in death. Would you rather die from starvation pretty immediately, or would you rather go through a bunch of trials and tribulations of stuff you really didn't need to deal with in the first place, and then end up dying anyway? Obviously, I'd choose this one, so I didn't have to go through all the shit that this entails. Boom. Most people agree. Would you rather have no fingers or have no ears? I'd rather have no ears, because just because I don't have my, well, it's covered by a headphone right now, but just because I don't have my external ear doesn't mean that my internal workings are gonna be gone. I'm okay if I don't have an outer ear, as long as I still have my eardrum, my external auditory meatus, as long as I still have my stipes and everything else, my vestibular tubes. If all of that is still in there, then I still am going to be able to hear. I just won't have ears to do it with. And I can get implants, I can get fake ears, I can get whatever I need to do. Whereas fingers would be really, really hard to just have stumps to do everything with. Definitely ears, because I could still hear without having an external ear. Would you rather eat 25 toenails, snort a tablespoon of cinnamon? What? Okay, the cinnamon would burn and completely just mess up your sinuses and everything. That would be detrimental, whereas the toenails are nasty, but you could get them all down in like one go if you chug it down with water or something and don't think about it. You could do it and be done. It would probably hurt coming out unless you cut up the things to not be maybe so sharp. You could also just grind up the toenails. If there were still 25 toenails, it doesn't say how you have to eat them. So you could grind them up into powder so that they don't hurt when they come out, and you could mix them into something so that it's easier to hide and just chug it down. See, that's way easier to do, and while disgusting, you're able to hide it and make it so it doesn't hurt when it comes out later. Whereas if you snort a tablespoon of cinnamon, it's going to be detrimental and have long-term effects on your health because you've just now fucked up your sinuses and everything in there. So this would be better to do. What? 72% of people agree. Guys, you're gonna fuck up your sinuses and hurt yourself in the long term. This one is gross, but you don't have to eat them in their whole form. You can change them and grind them up or do whatever you need to do into a powder or whatever so that they can go down easier. And they never said that you couldn't eat them with something else. Okay. I don't think they thought through that one very well. Would you rather be a main character in South Park or Family Guy? I like both of these TV shows. South Park, they get into a lot of interesting shenanigans, as they do in Family Guy. And of course, everybody that dies is pretty much reset if you're Kenny. But in Family Guy, I would love to be with Stewie and Brian and hang out with them much more than I would want to hang out with Kyle, Cartman, Stan, any of those people that are in South Park. So definitely Family Guy. Oh, and most people agree. Would you rather have a hot spouse but be poor, or be homosexual with a famous actor and be rich?
Bruh.
This is stupid. This just plays on the fear of... This is a homophobic question. Because it's implying that you would be straight and have a hot spouse and be poor, or you could, oh my god, be homosexual, but then be rich and have a famous actor as your partner. So rather than have them be ugly, they're saying the bad alternative is being homosexual instead. And I don't agree with that whatsoever. That's an awful question because of what it's implying. I'm not answering that. I don't deal with homophobia. You can leave that at the door. Would you rather sleep only 3 hours a night on an extremely comfy bed, or sleep as long as you want on a cold rock? Now, see, the rock, they don't tell you what kind of rock it is. So it could be a nice, big, flat rock, and I would be okay with that, because I can make myself, you know, comfortable just with my body. I've done it many times just on a flat floor, and you really don't need a big, huge, comfy bed. If you sleep only 3 hours a night, you're gonna have detrimental health issues later down the line, because your body needs at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep to function properly, and any less than that has really bad ramifications on you long term. So you would live way worse if you did this in the long term. You'd probably die sooner, you'd have health problems, you'd be suffering more. Whereas this one, if you got to sleep as much as you wanted, I mean, you could make the rock your own. You could bring a blanket, you could bring a pillow, you're just on a rock. Okay? And that's totally fine. I'd rather do that. Ugh, people don't think these things through, obviously. Would you rather give a speech to the whole nation, or have to sleep with tarantulas on your bed? Ah! So this is a fear question. Yep, a matter of fear of public speaking versus spiders. Well, I'm okay with talking to the nation. I'm okay with talking in front of people. I'm okay with giving speeches. I mean, everybody has that little bit of stage fright within them, but you can learn to overcome that through practice and really dedicating yourself to trying to speak with larger and larger groups of people. So I would much rather give a speech to the nation than have tarantulas all up in my bed. Because one, I'd probably roll over and squish some, and that would be messy, and then they'd be all over me, and I wouldn't be able to sleep. So essentially it'd be a night of not sleeping. Yeah, this is just better. Ha! Tons of people agree. Would you rather be rich or be famous? And you cannot use one to achieve the other. So if you're rich, you can then invest that. You can do anything you want with that. It's your money. You're rich. You don't have to worry about all of that for the rest of your life. If you're famous, you're popular, you have notoriety. And usually being rich begets you fame because people hear that you have money, and then you are slightly famous within small social circles depending on what you're rich from. Or if you're famous, usually rich and profitability comes from that, because you can use your fame as a platform to be an influencer and work with brands or work with different businesses and companies to then get you an income with your fame. So if you're rich, however, you don't necessarily get to have the fame aspect. And I know it says you can't use one to achieve the other, but I think that's stupid. because you have to be able to consider all possibilities if this was to happen in your world. So I'm ignoring that clause. Being rich doesn't necessarily beget fame, but fame can easily beget you riches if you use your fame correctly. And if you get to choose what you're famous for, you can choose that you're famous for something really amazing, like you are a huge philanthropist and people love you, or you're a philanthropist and a gamer on YouTube that has a super big personality. You're a famous movie star, you're a famous singer, and if you get to choose that kind of stuff, you both have fame, you have the talent, I would assume, if you're famous for it, in a positive way that you've chosen. And then if you do something such as being a gamer or movie star or model or singer or what have you, dancer, you get money that comes with that pretty automatically. And if you're famous, then people are going to watch you and subscribe to your stuff or come to your concerts or watch your films, etc., and thus net you more income. So it'd be much easier to be famous first and then use your fame to be rich than it would be to be rich and try and get famous. Because people would only be after you for your money, which you already have. And that would complicate things. Definitely this one. Well, if it had to be one or the other, there was no crossover like there would be in real life, then I would choose being rich as well, but that's stupid, and that's just like a very blanket question. If you allow the options to be open as they would be in real life, and ignore that clause because it's dumb, then famous would be the much better route to go. Would you rather have uncomfortable ear hair or have uncomfortable nose hair? Well, I am going to go ahead and leave that question for you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below which one of these unfortunate circumstances you would rather have in your life. And yeah, I'm not sure which one I would pick. I'd have to think on that for a little bit, but I'm not going to take up any more of y'all's time. I hope that you enjoyed going through this little bit of journey with me and figured out a little more about yourself too if you tried to answer these questions along with me. If you have any comments, concerns, randomness that you want to throw at me, also leave them in the comment section down below. And remember to drop a like if you enjoyed this content and subscribe to my channel if you want some more great videos. And without taking up any more of y'all's time, I will go ahead and let you beautiful, beautiful people go, and I will talk to y'all later. Goodbye, my lovelies.
3, 2, 1, go!